I'm Tori Beach, a solo wedding videographer, and I'm so happy to be back with another episode of I Do's and Don'ts, where I sit down with wedding professionals to talk about the do's and don'ts of all things weddings. Today, I'm really excited to be sitting down with Maggie Farchman, a wedding planner. Hey Maggie, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I was honored. I am honored.
I love when people say that. I'm so excited to talk to you because I've had one other wedding coordinator on here, and I feel like you guys are the most knowledgeable of do's and don'ts because I feel like you guys see everything. Like the eyes way up here that just kind of watch over everything, and you know.
That's hilarious.
So,
That's awesome.
But I want people to get to know you real quick. So tell me the name of your company and how long have you been in the wedding industry?
Yep. So my event planning company is called 618 Events. Side note on that, everyone asks if I'm from Southern Illinois, and no, I'm not. The number 618, twofold. One, the zip codes in this area start with 618. So 61820, 21, whatever.
Right.
And then my wedding anniversary is June 18th. So
yeah,
so that's where that came from.
I love it.
But I started 618 Events in May of 2019. However, before that, I worked for an event planning company out of Peoria starting in 2015.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited to jump into these do's and don'ts because they might be simple, but I think they have a massive impact on the couple's day and even their mental state during the day. And so your first do is to hire or designate someone to be your day of coordinator. So talk to me about how that's different from someone who's, let's say, is the wedding coordinator up to the day.
Absolutely. So as a wedding planner, I feel like that is my given due, which I feel funny even having that as my due. However, it's why I'm in this industry. One, of course, to help my clients walk through the planning process pre-event day. But I am so passionate about helping my, especially wedding clients, totally be in the moment on their wedding day, being able to enjoy all that the wedding day brings. So that's why it's my first do, even though it's kind of cliche coming from me, I guess. But so I say, okay, my do is to hire or at the very least designate someone to be the day of coordinator, because as the bride or even as the mother of the bride or even the groom, I hate to hear that they are setting up on their wedding day, getting a phone call from a vendor who had a car accident and they're running a little late. You know, as the bride, groom, close family members, they shouldn't have to worry about that or think about that as they're getting their makeup done, while they're having the bride and groom portraits taken, whatever. They should be able to just enjoy the day. And so that's why that was my first do.
So with that kind of designated day of coordinator, what would you say their responsibilities are? Is it like, give me your phone, you're not allowed to look at it? Or, is it more of like I'm going to be there early and I'll be doing all the setting up? Or what are the roles of a day of coordinator?
It might be easier to say what are not the roles. No, I'm kidding. But,
okay.
So I guess briefly, my role when I'm hired as the day of coordinator, which, side note, I will add, it's so much more than me just showing up on their wedding day and helping. There is some pre-planning involved, but on their wedding day, I'm helping with setup and making sure that the vendors are coming in when they're supposed to come in, like the cake is delivered, the florals are set up, all of that. They come into the room of the reception and maybe the florist or the cake bakery doesn't know where they're supposed to put their things. So making sure that everything is set, and then not just with setup, but then as the ceremony is rolling and as the reception is rolling, just keeping everything on time. I know the caterers, for example, they want their food served warm, if it's supposed to be warm, and the optimal temperature. And so just making sure that everything is flowing so that food can get put out on the table when it's supposed to.
Right.
The toasts happen when they should. And not only that, but that the bride and groom are in the room when those toasts are happening. The DJ is aware. So just making sure that everything goes according to plan, as far as timeline, and then tearing down everything. I hate when I attend a wedding personally and I'm seeing the bride and groom tear down from their wedding. It's like, oh my gosh, get out of here. Like,
right.
So,
yeah. Now, can you hire a coordinator just for the day of, or is it better to hire a coordinator who is with you throughout the whole process? Like, can you do one or the other?
So let me say this too. I mentioned it really briefly earlier. My day of package, I'm accessible throughout the whole planning process. I don't know how the other wedding planners do it, so I'll speak for myself.
Sure.
So vendor recommendations, if you have a question on how to talk to a certain vendor about it, or just whatever questions that go into the planning process, they can email me.
Okay.
I also help with the timeline. So about 2 months out, we meet and talk through everything.
Okay.
So I am involved a little bit in the pre-planning process. However, the day of package versus like the full planning package, it really depends on what the client wants.
Okay.
Some love wedding planning. They might even be in the event industry for their employer.
Sure.
So they like the details. They enjoy doing that. And so they don't really need to spend the money and hire someone to help them keeping them on track. Others need that. They don't, the thought of planning something overwhelms them.
Yes.
So that's what's really great about packages is it's custom. They can get however much or however little of me that they want.
No, and I love that because I am definitely a bride who fell into the category of I didn't want to plan. And I ended up going for a very small wedding, and I planned the part that was the most important to me, and then the other part, which was a compromise that me and my husband made with our mothers, we kind of let our moms plan the other part of it because I was like, I don't really care about that. You can handle that. But I get overwhelmed very easily by a lot of details, and when it comes to weddings, there are a lot of details. Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody takes anything away from this conversation, it is you should hire somebody to help you coordinate because
that is my due.
Yeah, hire a coordinator because I think we don't realize, or when you're planning a wedding and you've never planned one before, you don't realize the scope of it and what is all involved. Even if you go micro wedding size, which is like 50 people or so, there's just a lot of moving parts. And so I love that, and I love having a specific point to be made that you have a day of coordinator, because that is not a day that you should be thinking about, flowers didn't make it on time or they fell out of the truck. I don't know. And you don't want the bride to know. You don't want the couple to know. And I think that's actually like an interesting thing. Like if something bad happens, we try as vendors everything to avoid letting the couple know that anything happened. Unless they absolutely need to know. We try to avoid it because it's just stress they don't need to have.
I know. Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think that people listening should take note because it's really important. This next one is actually very dear to my heart because it is something that I am very passionate about with my couples. And this is your don't. And your don't is don't forget to pause and take in the moment of your day. So why is this a important don't for you?
So whether I've helped them plan or not, couples have typically been planning for a year, 9 months, 6 months, a really long time, all for this, I don't know, less than 24 hour day. Yeah. Hopefully less than 24 hour day. Depending
on the type of wedding, it could be longer.
True. So you have spent so much time thinking and dreaming and talking, and it is gone like that. And so, and okay, so one, let me back up.
Okay.
It is just so, I have so many thoughts.
I know, I can see it.
Okay, so one, don't forget to pause and take in the moment with your spouse because you've spent so much time and it goes so quick. And I don't think, unless you've experienced that before, it's hard to believe how fast it goes. But also, it's really easy to get caught up in the beauty of the day, like the literal beauty. So like the table centerpieces, what they look like, how the napkin is folded, the string lights. And by taking a moment to pause with your spouse, to take in the day, it's almost recalibrating, if that's the right word, the reason for the day.
Yeah.
You just got married to the person that you were going to spend the rest of your life with, which is so awesome.
Yep.
And just stepping back and remembering that, and also looking around the room filled with, whether it's 25, 50, 250 people, however many you can have, of your favorite people all in one room. Man.
Yep. This is so important. This is so important. I have had, and I need to do it more. And honestly, I kind of am trying to take cues from my couples. But one thing that I like to do is before I leave, I will usually try to get the couple alone for a shot. So usually in the evening. And I will take them away just literally 5 minutes. But at this point, dance floor has happened, music is loud, everybody's excited, they're having a good time. And the bride and groom have been, or the couple, they've been going around and saying hello to everybody and talking to everybody. And they've been together, but not really. Yeah. And I've had so many couples where I take them out and I say, just slow dance right here. And I will be very quiet and I'll just do my job, and then I'll say, okay, I'm done. And they're like, we're gonna stay out here for another 5 minutes or so. And it's like it's the first time that they actually have been like, hi, I married you and no one else is here. It's just us. We can kind of be together. So that's a moment that I think is really important for couples to have together. Other moment that I think they should pause with is to see their reception and all their guests in one room. Just like you said, you're kind of in this micro lens looking at every single detail leading all the way up, and it's time to pull it back, go wide, see what that room looks like all together, how it's all come together, see people smiling and laughing and eating and dancing and all that kind of stuff, and realize this is your day. And so it's vitally important that you have that moment for yourself with your spouse and just realize all of your hard work came to this. Enjoy it. And don't be cleaning up afterwards.
I know.
No. Oh my gosh. Maggie, these were so good. These do's and these don'ts. And I'm really, really hoping that when couples listen to this, and even other vendors, if there are other wedding coordinators or day of coordinators, friends, any of you guys there, the point is we got to look out for our couple. And that means making sure that they can eat, have some time to themselves, take a moment to take it all in. Like, those are really, really important things. Simple as they may be, they make a huge difference for the couples. So I'm really happy you brought them up. Yeah.
It's good.
Well, Maggie, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, Tori. This is fun. And I'm so excited to hear what other vendors share.
Oh, me too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode and learned a bunch. If you guys have any questions about what you heard today, or if you want to ask a specific question to Maggie, or if you have a specific topic or professional you want to hear from. Essentially, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments section below, as we will be reading them and we will be making future episodes off of what you asked for. Anyway, I hope you guys stick around as we have so much more to come.